welcome to another round of the 2006 Monsters of Destruction. I'm Kevin Hynes. This week, round number 11 in Rapid City, South Dakota, home of Mount Rushmore, where this man right behind me, Rick Swanson in the Obsession truck, and Dan Patrick and Sampson exchanging blows for position 1 and 2 in the points. It's going to be a great event out there tonight. Let's run down and take a look at our field of drivers.
Don't see anybody getting away with anything. It's going to be tight racing. The jumps are steep.
Lewiston was a turning point for me. Now I just got to keep it going.
You know, my philosophy, it's all throttle or nothing, so we'll do what we can.
Yep, here to, win, have a good time. I think that's the main thing, is have a good time.
If the numbers are there and we run consistent, we should do well.
Running every weekend all summer, we're getting a lot of seat time and stepping it up a little bit, breaking a lot more parts the harder I drive.
As you can see, a lot of action in the pits getting ready for tonight's event in anticipation of round number 11 in Rapid City, South Dakota. Wade, up to you.
Here are the straight line standings after 10 rounds. Dan Patrick and Sampson on top, 2 points ahead of Rick Swanson in the Obsession, followed by Dragon Slayer. Dan Runte and Bigfoot. Kelvin Raymer in Natural High moves into 5th. Paul Jensen and Spider-Man 6th. Lindsey Wink and Iron Outlaw. Jimmy Cretin, Dave Harkey, and Rick Long round out the top 10. Here are your obstacle course standings after 10 rounds. Rick Swanson in the Obsession on top, followed by Dan Patrick and Sampson, Craig Christensen, Dan Runte of Bigfoot, Paul Jensen and Spider-Man. Kelvin Raymer is 6th in the Natural High, followed by Jimmy Cretin and Bounty Hunter, Rick Long in Bigfoot, Lindsey Wink and Iron Outlaw, and Dave Harkey in Bigfoot. Great day of racing set to take place here in Rapid City, South Dakota. Let's talk to some of tonight's drivers.
All right, Dan, we're out here in Rapid City. We're out for round number 11. It's a little ways away for most of us out on the West Coast, but for you it's a little bit closer. So what do you think of the track out here tonight?
Well, I think it'll be a good track. It's kind of a reminiscence of Cottage Grove. Nice long course, a lot of obstacles. We like that. So a lot of driver skill involved. We're going to need some big power when it gets down to the final rounds. But I think it'll be a challenging event, to say the least.
All right, so Frank, you were able to get the truck back together. We're back out here at Rapid City, South Dakota. You joined us on the show for a couple of commentating adventures out there, and now you're going to be back in the driver's seat. How does that feel?
Well, I don't know how it feels yet, but just barely got a new tranny, new torque converter, new motor, all new block, everything. So I'm going to see how it runs. I was having a blast up there in the booth with you guys, but let's see if I can remember how to drive. It's been since, Roswell. It's round 2, and what are we in now? And I haven't driven the thing at all, so I'll just go out there and do my best. It's all I can do for my sponsors and for the crowd, put on a good show.
My game plan is just run as fast as I can, advance as fast as I can, see if we can take home a trophy.
Let's get things started in qualifying here. Round 11 from Black Hill Speedway, Rapid City, South Dakota. There is the number 02 Spider-Man truck driven by Paul Jensen, and he will make a pass with Rick Swanson in the number 95 Obsession truck. Looks like Jensen was faster off the line, but Swanson coming on strong here. This is a long course, longer than we're used to. Obsession checks in 6.245. Spider-Man a tick slow at 6.382.
And it looks like this is going to be a tough round for these guys. It is a longer course than what we're used to seeing. Moving on to our second qualifying run here. Looks like we're going to have Dan Patrick in the number 50 Sampson going up against Scattini in the number 11 Monster Jerky. Scattini's first round back now. We're going to see if he's remembered everything that he learned early on in the season. Here they go. They're off the line. Scattini looks like he's got a little edge coming up to the cars. But look at the Hemi of Sampson. Patrick hammers it down with a 6.073 against Scattini's 7.015 in Monster Jerky.
Well, Frank's got one more pass to try and redeem himself. He didn't get beat by a little. He got beat by a lot right there. Here's a new truck to Monsters of Destruction. This is Paul Strong and Marshall Law. Look at those spinners on the wheels. He'll make a single pass here. Doesn't look too fast so far. He's going to bring it home. The truck looks pretty cool, but he red lighted and his time is disqualified. Craig Christensen didn't come out at all. We'll have to get a word on what happened there. That was just kind of a wasted round, wasn't it?
It was. Word from the pits, Craig Christensen having some battery troubles, not able to join us out here for the first round of qualifying. Here we go back in with Paul Jensen in the 02 Spider-Man. Going to go back up against Rick Swanson in the Obsession. It's their second round of qualifying. Here they go. They're off the line. Obsession looks like he's got the lead very early as they approach the cars, but look at Jensen coming on strong. Jensen is going to hang on with a 6.433 versus Rick's 6.596. So Jensen with a faster time this time around.
Yet neither of them good enough to knock Sampson and his 6.073 off the pole position, if you will. Sampson's still the fastest truck. Frank Scattini's got some work to do to improve on his 7-second flat run. Here's Sampson as top qualifier. All he's got to do is wait to see if anybody knocks him off. I don't think he's going to be able to beat that 6-second flat, but he is strong. Look at how fast he is right there. Again, Scattini struggling. He did better his first round time. 5.830. Monster Jerky about the same at 7.045. So top qualifier goes to Dan Patrick and Sampson with a great time of 5.830, followed by Obsession, Spider-Man, Monster Jerky, Martial Law, and Dragon Slayer.
Now moving into straight line drags here as we come to the first heat. Rick Swanson in the number 95 Obsession truck is going to have his work cut out for him here. So he goes up against Paul Strong and Marshall Law. I don't know if those spinners help the truck or not, but we'll find out here in just a moment. Strong was posting some pretty good times there. You see he's really slow off the line. Rick Swanson looks like he's going to walk away with this one. A very long course, giving Swanson the chance to capitalize on that early start with a 6.706. And Martial Law, it almost seems like he's having some mechanical difficulties out there, Wade.
Yeah, the reaction times are very similar. 0.63 for Swanson, 0.67 for Martial Law, but just a lot faster off the line was Obsession there. Swanson, a good run. Martial Law and Strong seemed to lose it right before that first obstacle. Definitely a mechanical issue there. No truck could be that slow on purpose.
That's right. Let's take a look at the replay now. You see Rick Swanson in Obsession there in the inside cam. Here's Paul Strong and Martial Law coming across. A 6.74 reaction time. A great time off the light. But right there, just the truck all around slow, all the way across the line. You can see the gap there. And so let's take a look now. Obsession moving into semifinals. Spider-Man and Monster Jerky are up next.
I think I got lucky. I'm running a little 468 motor. That poor motor's been in 4 trucks. This is the 4th truck it's been in. It's my backup that I've lent out. And it probably has about 20 weekends on it. So when I had to shove it in real fast to get here, I did my best, you know, got it running and everything. And if it keeps doing what it's doing, I'm extremely happy with it.
Heat number 2 now of straight line drag win or go home competition. Here's Frank Scattini in the number 11 Monster Jerky machine going up against Paul Jensen and Spider-Man. And based on qualifying, it's going to be a short night for Frank unless he steps it up right here, Kevin.
You know, he's got a lot of new parts in the truck. Here you can see as they come across the line, look at Jensen and Spider-Man, not as quick and out in front of Scattini as I would have expected, but Scattini putting up a pretty good fight. Only 0.7 of a second slower as they cross the line, so Paul Jensen and Spider-Man going to go away into semifinals with a 6.333.
Yeah, that's 0.7 of a second. It was a 6.33 versus a 6.40. Frank did make a race of it, but Paul Jensen and Spider-Man gets the better of him right here. And Spider-Man will advance, though Scattini made it close.
And what I was talking about, Scattini there has got all new parts in the motor. He's got a new transmission, and they're trying out a few things out here in this round, which is why he's had to sit out the most of the season so far. So Scattini now back behind the wheel in his motocross style, a monster truck. A great reaction time by Spider-Man with a 1:29.
Yeah, Frank lost this one on the line. There's your 0.7 right there. He gave Paul Jensen 0.7 of a second head start and only lost by 0.7. So if he could have got off the line at all, it was his race, but he was out before it started. We'll be back with more straight line drag competition on MOD after these words.
In work.
Well, I mean, we qualify good. We always qualify good, but we usually screw up and go out in the first round, so maybe here our luck will change, you know. So you shouldn't red light here. The track is so hard, you know, you'll just blow the tires off the line. So we'll just see. You know, the key is getting over that first hill and getting it down and getting after it. Then remember, you got to get after the throttle after the second set of cars because there is finish line is past where we land.
One round remaining here in straight line drag competition. Wade Sherman and Kevin Hynes with you. Here's Craig Christensen in the Dragon Slayer. He's fixed that battery. and he's going to do battle with Dan Patrick in Sampson, the fast qualifier. A lot on the line here, Kevin, because fast loser is still up for grabs as well.
That's right, it is. And as you can see, Dan Patrick in the Sampson, very strong all night long so far. The Hemi just opens up out here on this track. Christensen has got to beat the 6'4", and there it is, a 6'3.01. That is going to put him into the fast loser bracket against Sampson's 5'6.03, so it looks like Craig's coming back.
And 5'6.03 is the fast time of the night. Sampson was top qualifier with a 5'8.3, but he's even better at 5'6.0 here in his heat, and he just keeps getting stronger as the night goes on.
You know, it seems like, Dan, once he gets dialed in an event, he just gets better and better all night long, and that's what we're seeing out here in Rapid City, South Dakota. You can see in the replay there, he was just going for it all the way. Craig Christensen, unfortunately, a little bit slower there off the line, going to suffer a little bit slower time throughout the course of this event, but he is going to come back as the fast loser. That's going to give him one more shot.
Looked like some pieces were flying off of that Dragon Slayer truck there in that last pass. Sampson advances. Dragon Slayer comes back as fast loser. So here we are in semifinal action now. Rick Swanson in the Obsession truck carrying the FabTech sponsorship. He'll go up against Paul Jensen in the O2 Spider-Man. Rick Swanson has been in the finals in obstacle course racing several times this year, looking to get there in straight line. This is a close race, too close to call, but Swanson pulls away there at the end. 6.113 for Swanson in the Obsession truck. Spider-Man will go home with a time of 6.249.
A very, very close race there. 1/10 of a second. Let's run back and take a look at this one more time. Both drivers off the line very, very quickly. And one more look at Obsession there, coming across the line in that FabTech Amerigas truck. Here they go. They're side by side right there. Jensen loses it a little bit sideways. Lands on 2 of the tires instead of 4, and I think that cost him the race right there, Wade.
Yeah, Rick stuck with this one. He was not winning off the line. He was not winning over the first obstacle, but he stayed with it and pulled ahead after the first jump. So Slow and Steady won this race for Rick Swanson, and the Obsession truck will be in the finals of straight line drag competition here in round 11 from Black Hills Speedway, Rapid City, South Dakota.
And that's good news for Obsession. There you see it right across the finish line. Slow-mo cam coming across a little bit in front. Dragon Slayer is going to come back as fast loser to face Sampson in semifinal action to come right now.
Sampson has been awfully strong, going from 6 seconds to 5.8 to 5.6. He is going to be tough to beat, especially when the Dragon Slayer is a bit hampered by battery problems. There's an electrical issue with that truck. He did well to make it to the semis here, but Sampson awfully strong tonight. Patrick, quick off the line. He's pulling away. This will be a victory. Look at Dragon Slayer there, up on 2 wheels, wheelie over the obstacle. 5.674 for Sampson. Respectable time of 5.974 for Dragon Slayer. Dragon Slayer goes home. Sampson advances to the finals to race against Swanson in the Obsession truck.
You know, one thing about Dan Patrick, he is always consistent. Out here, another 5.6 based time. We saw him come in, his qualifying with a 5.8, dropped it down to a 5.6, carried that again here for the second race in a row. So I think Dan Patrick is definitely going to be the guy to beat out here tonight. Look at this, a little slower off the line than Craig Christensen and Dragon Slayer, but right there, a huge wheelie by Dragon Slayer, and that right there cost him the race.
Yeah, freestyle should be fun tonight. Dragon Slayer's set up to fly here. He's going to put on a show in freestyle later tonight. Didn't help him here in straight line drags, as it's Obsession and Sampson coming at you after this.
Well, it's been a while in straight line, so we ran some consistent 5.6s, so we just go out and see if we can just, I think we run the same thing. We should be in there at the end.
Tonight's Monsters of Destruction broadcast is brought to you by Monster Jerky.
Of Johnny Lightning Toys, monster trucks loaded with play features, exclusive Super Bounce tires, real working suspension, and exploding bodies. Johnny Lightning's back, and he beats them all.
It's time for the finals of straight line drag competition here in round 11 from South Dakota. Rick Swanson in an unfamiliar position in the finals here in straight line drags, going up against Dan Patrick and Sampson. Wade Sherman and Kevin Hynes with you to bring you the final action here. They go green, and this is a close race. It looks like Sampson has the advantage. Swanson giving it everything he has, but Sampson and Patrick have taken it. 5.729. He has been consistent all night, getting faster and faster as the night goes on. Straight line drag champion, round 11, Dan Patrick and Sampson.
Let's take another look as we go back into the replay. Sampson and Obsession, very quick off the line. Both drivers fast, but look at that Hemi one more time. Dan Patrick and Sampson has got the truck for this track out here in Rapid City, South Dakota, and I think he proved that right there. Reaction time's very close. Sampson a 1:25, Obsession with a .169. Very, very close off the line. I think over the course of the event, that Hemi opened up, and that's where Obsession lost the race.
This will help Rick Swanson in the season standings, but it should not be enough to get him up on top. But he is awful close, and he's been consistent all year long. There's your results tonight. Patrick on top, followed by Rick Swanson, Craig Christensen, Paul Jensen, and Frank Scattini checks in with a 5th. Bringing up the rear, it's Paul Strong and Marshall Law. He finished 6th here in straight line drags. Your standings after round 11, Dan Patrick on top. 5 points behind is Rick Swanson in the Obsession, followed by Dragon Slayer, Dan Runty and Bigfoot, and Kelvin Raymer. Natural High hangs on to 5th. Rounding out the top 10, it's Paul Jensen and Spider-Man. 60 points back to Lindsey Wink and Iron Outlaw, followed by Jimmy Cretin, Dave Harkey and Bigfoot, and Frank Scattini and Monster Jerky. Before we move on to obstacle course action, let's talk to our winner in straight line drags here from round 11.
All right, so we're down here with Rick Swanson in Obsession. Rick came out here. You did a great job. You've come up in the points, after 10th round. So now out here for round number 11, it looks like you're in pretty good standings.
Yeah, unfortunately, Dan got me in the finals. My hat's off to him. He makes our trucks run down the road. Half our trucks he built. And I think he's got 1 or 2 on us just because he built them. But what a competitor.
Well, you come out here, you put on a great show out here for Rapid City, out here at the Black Hills Speedway. It's been great to have you out here, and congratulations on second spot tonight.
I thank all the fans for coming out. They're the ones that let us do this, One more time, unfortunately, I had to see Dan in the finals. I really would have got in front of him in points, but, my hat's off to him. I'll take second to him anytime.
All right, now out here with Dan Patrick. Dan, it looks like you're going to get to put one in the books out here tonight.
Well, after 11 rounds, we finally put one down, and we've been qualifying first a lot of events, but we've been just having bad runs in the first round. So, hey, I got to run Craig twice in a row tonight, and that was no easy challenge. Then, Rick, he's no slouch, and so anyway, we're glad to get him.
Tell me a little bit about the course out here tonight. It seems a little bit more stretched out after the cars than what we've seen so far up to date this season.
Well, we've moved out. We're going from rodeo arenas to dirt tracks. We have more room to do things. So you're seeing a different level of the trucks now that we did in the earlier rounds. So, before it's 30 feet, you're done. And now it's 30 feet first object. And so, tonight I was looking out the right window and was looking down to ground. That wasn't a good thing. But, the old truck laid down good and it settled down good. So, it makes better racing for the fans. It makes better racing for television for the fans at home. And we hope the courses keep stepping up.
Well, Dan, it's great to have you out here. You're finally able to put one down as a first place finish out here tonight for round number 11. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot, and maybe we can take another one home tonight in obstacles, see what we can do.
Go obstacle course racing here in round 11 of Monsters of Destruction on the Outdoor Channel. Kevin, this is one heck of a course. I don't know if these guys brought enough gas to get around this thing.
Out here in Rapid City, South Dakota at the Black Hills Speedway, it's a very, very large course. In fact, the world's largest Chicago-style course that we've seen thus far. There we go. We got a picture-in-picture there of Marshall Law on the opposite side of the track. Rick Swanson a ways ahead right now, but there is an awful lot of track here for either one of these trucks to either make a mistake or to just power through and try and get the advantage as they work around the track.
Yeah, so far, Obsession looking awfully strong. Speaking of strong, Paul Strong is struggling. Marshall Law not looking too quick here in the early going, but there's so much real estate to cover, anything can happen. One mistake could change things.
And there you see Strong off the side of the cars as he rounds the side of the track. So Obsession, this is going to be an easy win for him as he crosses the line. You can see Strong on the backside of the arena, 4 seconds almost behind. Actually, a little higher than 4 seconds. 4.4 seconds behind, a long ways out.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that time of 39.2 holds up for Swanson in the Obsession truck. Looked like he had a pretty clean run. A lot of distance over the obstacles right there, but I haven't seen an obstacle course this long in MOD action in the 2 years I've been covering this for the Outdoor Channel.
You know, I'd have to say the same thing. As you can see there, as he came through that corner, there was a lot of setup there. He cut in on the inside. I think the time is going to be gained or lost in the corners on this particular course because you have one obstacle set dead in the middle of each one of these corners. They've got to get going. You can see Swanson struggles a little bit right there as he comes back over the roller. And then, of course, the final shot as he crosses the cars and over the finish line. So there's a lot to be gained or lost. I'd be interested to see Dan Patrick when he comes out here with that super strong Hemi and Sampson to see what happens.
So a good run as you take a look on board with Swanson there. Getting bounced around pretty good, and I bet he's tired. Not used to going 40 seconds. Most of our runs more in the 20-second range. Obsession will advance, and that sets up the next matchup between Spider-Man and Monster Jerky.
You know, I wonder what these guys are going through for fuel. They must be going through about 10 gallons out there for each one of these laps. An awful long ways, but we're going to find out if these two trucks can handle it right now. Paul Jensen and Spider-Man going up against this man, Frank Scattini, and Monster Jerky. And here you can see the picture-in-picture as we are in opposite sides of the arena. And look at Jensen and Spider-Man. Scattini is actually a little bit up in front right now as they round the first corner and over the first obstacle. Wait, this is where it's going to get tough right here as they come around the second half of the lap.
Yeah, they looked pretty even at the turn. A lot of air right there for Spider-Man. This is a very deceiving angle because the finish line is offset. They're not even. One lane is further than the other. So it's anybody's race right now. We'll have to wait till they get closer to the finish line. Paul Jensen appears to be a bit slow to me as he approaches that roller. Still, oh, look at the distance there for Spider-Man. He flew through the air coming to the line. 37.169 for Spider-Man. He barely wins because Scattini was penalized, and I honestly didn't see where the penalty came in. Kevin, where was it?
Well, let's take another look at the replay here. Maybe we can find out where it was. I think maybe he might have cut a set of cars or one of the corner obstacles as we come around. Now, Jensen, of course, very clean off the line there as he comes around the first corner. All four tires have to hit every obstacle on this course. It is crucial to not incurring a penalty on a course this long.
Yeah, one thing to note here, both times faster than Obsession's 39.321. Spider-Man a full 2 seconds faster. He had a real clean run here, not a lot of bobbles, got some great distance. I can't wait for Freestyle. These trucks are really launching here in South Dakota. Look at that.
It is going to be something else. There you see Spider-Man with a clean run. Now here, no, that's Spider-Man again. So his clean lap all the way around as the dust is flying. An in-cam shot here of a little bit of the bouncing going on here in the Monsters of Destruction. Now these trucks take an awful lot of abuse, but to do it for 40 seconds is an awful long way. So Sampson and Dragon Slayer are up next, and let's run down and talk to Scattini.
I didn't get score enough on that set of cars like I thought I did, and I got a 2-second penalty, and I guess I beat him by less than 2 seconds, so he won, but he says I'm fast loser, so I get to come out and run Sampson. Great, I get to pull Sampson of all people.
Welcome back to Black Hills Speedway in Rapid City, South Dakota. This is round 11 obstacle course action. Dan Patrick, our straight line winner, and Sampson going up against Craig Christensen and Dragon Slayer. And Kevin, Dragon Slayer usually very, very tough in the rounding round.
You know, a lot of experience out here on the field, over 50 years of combined monster truck experience between these two drivers. Dan Patrick and Sampson a little quicker across the line. The finish lines are offset, so you kind of got to use that to judge where the trucks are at. But look at this, Christensen appears to be catching up as he rounds the corner. They both go over the rollers at the same time. They're over the set of cars. They are side by side, and look at this. We've got a half a lap left to go in Chicago style. Patrick clean around the outside there. He's got the hammer down. Christensen also and he skies it out. Look at that. Christensen off the cars. He's going to go outside the timing equipment. He is not going to finish this race.
Yeah, but like I said, Freestyle is going to be one heck of a show. Dragon Slayer is set up to fly. Even Craig can't contain that beast here tonight, handing the victory to Sampson. But I can't wait for Freestyle. Dragon Slayer is set up to fly.
Man, I tell you what, these trucks are just hammering it out here. And of course, you know, when you have that much room to hit a jump, they're going to go sky high. And Craig Christensen showing that there. Dan Patrick and Sampson, we're taking a look at his run right now, back over the roller. Nice and clean all the way around. It could have been a little bit faster and a little bit more dialed in, if you want my honest opinion about it. But Dan Patrick got the job done right here, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, very fluid, nice and controlled. didn't try to force it, didn't do too much, and that let him win this race. And Craig Christensen doesn't know the meaning of the word caution. He doesn't know the meaning of the word hold back. The words hold back. It's 2 words. I don't know how many words is a word, but anyway, Christensen really, really overly aggressive here tonight. It may have cost him this race. Almost put it on its lid, didn't he?
You know, he really did. Christensen, a very wild driver, very, very fast, always good in the obstacle course racing that we have seen thus far the entire year, and last year as well, which is why he was our 05 champion. But right here, he just got a little bit excited, actually, as we come around the final corner after this set of cars. We're going to watch it from here on out. The race is coming to a close right now as he rounds the corner. Look at that. He's a little bit sideways, and right here, Wade, is where he launches. Look at that. Huge jump by Christensen, flying up on 2 wheels, then on 1 wheel, not able to keep it contained. And look at the slow-mo, the truck almost over backwards.
I'm willing to put a few bucks on Freestyle that he goes upside down. He is just not able to contain this thing, and he's going to come out and put on one heck of a show. I wouldn't be surprised if we have to turn him back over, but plenty of obstacle course still to come. Here's a word with Craig Christensen.
Oh, shoot, that's just another day at the office, dude. No big deal. Problem is that I dropped my Pepsi, and I was trying to find the Pepsi, and I got wedged underneath the throttle pedal, and it just hung wide open, and so I was just getting it, so I grabbed another gear. All right, here's the truth. Come around the corner. I looked over, I thought I was behind, so I just flat-footed at that tabletop. Just as soon as I hit that tabletop, I thought, oh, this was not a good idea. Had way too much momentum, nosed over, landed into the ramp on the cars, then it went vertical. From there on out, I think I was just hanging onto the seat, hoping she stayed upright and put my foot all the way into her. She stood back up, so got lucky.
And there you have it, Craig Christensen laying it down for you. We're going to move on now with Paul Jensen in the O2 truck of Spider-Man. He's going to go up against Rick Swanson in Obsession. This is going to be an interesting race as well. Both drivers quick early on tonight. And so with this long of a course, a 40-second course out here tonight, you can see they're already off and running. Who do you think is going to take this one here, Wade?
Obsession has been awfully strong all season long and not really winning a lot of races, but finishing second, making the finals almost every week. I've got to think Swanson has a good shot here to at least advance past the semifinals. So far, he looks to have the advantage here in semifinal action.
And they're coming up a little bit short on that corner. He seems to cut that in just a little bit as opposed to getting lined up straight, but he's over the roller first, a huge advantage over Jensen and Spider-Man. And Rick Swanson in Obsession is going to take this one by a mile.
34.870 for Swanson in the Obsession truck. Spider-Man 36.597, and as we expected, Obsession around the finals again.
Boy, 2.3 seconds is an awful long way. You ask any racer out there, anything more than like a tenth or 2/10 of a second is a long ways. Rick Swanson clean all the way around, and you know, out here in Rapid City, South Dakota at the Black Hills Speedway, that's what it seems to take to get the job done. Just hold on, keep it clean, wait for the other guy to make a mistake, and it's game over. Here you see the reaction times are very close there, Wade.
Yeah, and this course appears to be very technical. I mean, there's wide open for a good portion of the straightaway. They've got to hit the brakes, set up to hit these obstacles clean, get through the turns. I mean, there's a lot going on here. This has got to be nerve-wracking for Swanson and all of our drivers here in MOD tonight.
You know, it's a lot more than what people realize. You don't just get in the truck and drive. They have to set these things up for the bounce, for the attack, for the drive right after the jump at each and every one of these obstacles. And not only just once, but they've got to do it 6 times on each one of these laps. So there are 6 different points where you could make a huge mistake, as we saw Craig Christensen do earlier this evening.
It looks like Swanson, his KCM teammate, took a lesson from what Christensen did there, and he was a lot more conservative in this run. Perhaps too conservative, as he wound up losing by over 2 seconds.
And here we're watching Spider-Man as he rounds all the way around the end of the course, a little over 2 seconds behind Swanson by the end of this race. An awful lot of ground to lose out there, a lot of real estate to try and make up. Once you're more than a second behind on this track, it's almost game over before the end of the event. Here you can see Jensen coming across the side there. He rounds it a little bit of a bounce. So here's our standings. Obsession is going to the final round. We'll be back after these words.
Welcome back to round 11 of Monsters of Destruction on the Outdoor Channel from the Black Hills Speedway in Rapid City, South Dakota. Second semifinal coming at you now. There's Frank Scattini and Monster Jerky, the number 11 truck, going up against our straight line winner, Dan Patrick and Sampson.
This is going to be an awful tough race here. Of course, Scatini, his first time back in the saddle since early on in the season in round number 2. Has got a new motor and a new tranny in the truck out there tonight. It looks like so far they are side by side, but Dan Patrick likes to capitalize on these long straights in the Hemi. They are still side by side. Patrick a little bit of an edge right there as they come around the second half of the lap. They've got one more obstacle and then a roller and a set of cars, and that's going to be the end of the game. Right here, there you see Patrick up in the top left of your screen. They're a little bit ahead coming across the cars, and there you have it. He's going to beat Scatini by, oh my goodness, almost a second and a half.
Nice run for Dan Patrick and Sampson. He has proven to be faster in the straight lines here tonight, and that really served him well on this long obstacle course here in round 11. Quick off the line, very smooth over the roller. A lot of distance here, flies over the first set of cars. Sampson, a very strong run, Kevin.
You know, one of the things I really like about Dan Patrick and his truck is a lot of the technology, even in his suspension, is very, very old school. There, take a look at that reaction time, 0.043. It doesn't get much faster than that. That truck was already moving when that light went green.
Frank's been real slow off the draw all night here. He must have found something in the crowd he likes looking at, because he has not been quick off the line.
Well, Scatini has got a lot to readjust to. His first time back in that monster truck in several months now, since round number 2. But Dan Patrick, of course, capitalizes on mistakes that other drivers make, especially on a course this long. Scatini, I think we've got to give him a little bit of credit because he held it together really well and had a great run for his first time back.
He's got some new parts on this truck, working with the folks over at CarTech to develop a new front end. It's kind of new for them because they're known for their dune buggy work, but they've really helped him here as he made the semifinals.
And here we go, Scatini coming back around, a second and a half. I mean, who else would you rather lose to than Dan Patrick and Sampson? He's proven that he is the fastest guy out here so far tonight. And Scatini is just, he's going to go down with a fight.
What do you mean, who would I rather lose to? I'd rather win. Anyways, Sampson and Obsession in the finals. Could be anybody's night. Sampson looking to sweep here in the finals of obstacle course racing. He's already taken straight line. He's on the line right there. But Swanson, he's really, really wanting to get it done. He's finished second too often for his taste this season.
These two drivers both very closely matched, and in fact, they're 1 and 2 in the points right now over the course of this event. So right now, there you can see Sampson is already a little bit ahead. He opens that Hemi up, he pins it right off the bat. Coming over that roller, now they're back side by side. Swanson has made up a little bit of ground. They're once again side by side off of that roller over the set of cars. Here's where Sampson capitalizes. Right here, he gets it opened up, he gets it lined up, gets it in the straight, drops the hammer, and that Hemi does the rest of the work inside that Chevrolet chassis of Sampson.
There you see Swanson on the brakes over his obstacle really well, but it's going to be too little, too late as Dan Patrick brings it home victorious. He sweeps round 11, 32.394 for Patrick. Obsession checks in 33.178, the second fastest time of the night. But once again, always a bridesmaid, never a bride for Rick Swanson. He'll have to settle for second as Patrick really put one on him here in the finals.
And there you can see how Sampson's truck, I was talking just a moment ago about some of the old school technology on the Sampson truck. The old cantilever suspension absorbs all the bumps out there. He launches off these jumps, it settles right in, he's able to get right into the power, and with a 1:21 reaction time versus Rick's .377, that's got to give him an advantage.
Dan Patrick obviously pleased. He sweeps straight line and obstacle course here in South Dakota, and I think it just comes down to he's got more horsepower. FabTech, the Obsession truck, disappointed once again tonight. Rick Swanson just not enough, though he put up a really strong battle, posting the second fastest time of the night, but second is second.
Second is second, but the closest race that we have seen all night, especially on a course that is this long, basically a 30-plus second course. So for him to come out there and remain within a second difference, basically, I got to hand it to Rick Swanson. He did a great job in that FabTech Amerigas Obsession truck.
Sampson really figured something out tonight. Patrick started out in his first round 36.1, improved to 34.8, and then finished up with a 33.17. Dan Patrick, your winner, followed by Rick Swanson, Frank Scatini, Paul Jensen, Paul Strong, and finishing in sixth, it was Craig Christensen in the Dragon Slayer. Your standings after 11 rounds, Rick Swanson, your season leader by 1 point over Sampson. Craig Christensen is third. It's a long way back to Dan Runte and Bigfoot and Paul Jensen and Spider-Man. Rounding out the top 10, Kelvin Raymer in Natural High is 6th, and then way back to Jimmy Cretin and Bounty Hunter, Rick Long in Bigfoot, Lindsey Wink in Iron Outlaw, and Dave Hartney in Bigfoot.
Tonight's Monsters of Destruction broadcast is brought to you by Monster Jerky.
Be on the Outdoor Channel, Kevin Hynes is trackside with our obstacle course finalists.
All right, Rick, so you're back out here with the finals with Dan Patrick again for the second time tonight. And, you go home with the second place, but you guys are rallying your way through the points. That's got to make you feel good.
Yeah, fortunately, we're in first place in obstacles, so this is going to definitely help keep those points up. I can't say enough. I got to thank my sponsors, FabTech, AmeriGas, Super Chips, James Duff. They're the ones that get me out here. My wife's up in the stands right now. I wanted to win one for her while she was here, but maybe next time.
Well, you've always got round number 12 out here. We'll be back here at Rapid City for round 12 again, and you'll have at least 2 more chances out here for that.
Well, we're going to do our best, What can I say? I lost to Dan, so I can't feel too bad there, He's the one, like I said earlier, built these trucks, built these frames and all kinds of stuff. He's actually building my new one at the rate he's going. I'm not going to be able to pay him.
Well, Rick, congratulations. A great fight out here. You guys were neck and neck all the way down to the very last set of cars. So congratulations and a job well done.
Thank you very much. We're just trying to do the best we can with the equipment we got.
All right, so Dan, now you get another one in the books. You came back out 2 events tonight, all in one shot in round number 11. Congratulations, man.
Thanks a lot. It was a fun course, and we had a little electrical problem there after the first round. I thought our night was going to be over because of just bad luck, but I jiggled a few things around. It started, and then it got through it. So I can't complain. It's a 13-year-old truck. We've been in every state in the country except for Mississippi. And we've always wanted to come to South Dakota. We've been in North Dakota, and we've heard the sprint car guys back talking about this track in Ohio. So, we were looking forward to coming out here because we heard so much good things about it.
Well, it's great to have you out here. I know that we talked back in Cottage Grove, Oregon, rounds number 9 and 10, about the cantilever suspension and some of the unique qualities of this Samson truck. 13 years old or not, you come out here, you put it down, you take home 2 first places, and congratulations again.
Thanks a lot. It's kind of an outdated system, the cantilever system, but it really works good on these kind of obstacle courses.
Well, Dan, once again, you go home with first place. You got a trophy and some money, and we'll look forward to seeing you out here for round number 12.
All right. Well, I hope everybody's ready for a little freestyle because we're done racing, so now we'll throw it down some freestyle.
Dave Sherman and Kevin Hynes with you in Rapid City, South Dakota. It's time for freestyle. A lot of attrition here tonight, Kevin. 3 trucks will not answer the bell, but here's one that will. It's Frank Scattini and Monster Jerky, and he's got a lot of real estate to play with.
He came out, he got beat up all night long by these other trucks, but Frank Scattini, always great to come out in freestyle. He's the only monster truck that's designed like a motocross bike. And you gotta wonder, being inside that truck, how much does he actually bounce around? How much can he actually see after every jump, just like that one that he launches and hitting the ground so hard?
Based on the distance the shorter wheelbase trucks we're getting, specifically Dragon Slayer and Spider-Man, we should be in for a real treat here as he's trying to hook up a donut. Kicks up a lot of dust, but doesn't really turn it there, Kevin.
Scattini, we were talking about earlier, he's got the parts of the new motor in there. He's got new transmission stuff in there. It appears that he might be having some difficulty with that transmission. He's having some problems getting going right off the bat. But once he does get going, he gets some great speed as he launches those cars right there. Let's see what else he has got in store for us.
Here he's gathered some speed, tries to go for some distance right there, gets some, but not really flying high. Nothing to write home about so far in this freestyle performance, but a lot of time left for Frank. I know he's going to get something done here.
Well, let's find out as he moves his way to the far side of the arena, away from the audience. You can see we got some people up there barbecuing and having a good time on the far side of the arena. Scattini back over the cars one more time, and his wheelbase a little bit longer than some of the other trucks that we've seen out there. You can tell by the way it launches and the way it settles down so quickly and nose down in the air. There we get a great launch by Scattini coming across back in front of the crowd. And let's take one more look at that wave. Let's see what he's got.
Really set up his move here on the brakes hard, and that nose really sits down before he punches the gas and catches some air right there. Again, very cautious in his approach. Gets more air in the rear of the truck that time. Setting up one more jump here. Pretty cautious run all in all for Scattini.
know, I think for first time being back in the saddle, he's got to be a little bit careful. Now we're back into Dan Patrick and Sampson, tonight's victor in both rounds with a round 11 sweep here in Rapid City, South Dakota. Dan's got to be excited and pumped up to come out here for freestyle after that.
Yeah, you can tell just by the way he came out onto the arena floor, carrying all that speed, opened it up wide to 50 miles an hour, flies through the air for a lot of distance on that jump, looking to set the record for distance here. He has got some speed, and that engine is just hooked up here tonight in South Dakota.
Dan Patrick, one of his favorite things is to tune that Hemi to open it up there. He gets a great launch in that Sampson truck. Now, one of the interesting things about this truck, when you sit down and you talk with Dan one-on-one, the truck very rarely goes much higher. It just goes farther because of the way that rear cantilever suspension is set up. It absorbs it so well, but it's definitely got the capability of hitting it faster and going farther than most of the other trucks out here. So as that Hemi opens up, he's come out here. He's an air-cooled truck. Up and over the van, goes skyward with the front end. You got to wonder what these guys are thinking when they launch straight up in the air like that and all they can see is sky.
Well, I think they're thinking, I hope I come down clean and don't break my back here. One wrong move and you could be in traction in monster trucks. So they take their life in their hands every time they leave the ground.
Very interesting. Sampson also taking a cautious run as we saw Scatini out here doing. Sampson, a nice little launch there as he comes across the cars. Now, he's got to keep it together. He's got round number 12 to think about also back here in Rapid City, South Dakota. I think he might be thinking about coming out and winning one more round.
Yeah, there's no money in freestyle, and Dan Patrick, I'm sure that fact is not lost on him. He's going to try and put on a show for his reputation's sake, but I think he wants to win again in round 12, and he pretty much saved this truck here. Showed a lot of speed, but not a lot of acrobatic maneuvers here in freestyle for Dan Patrick.
You know, and Dan Patrick, what a great guy. You know, there launches it up, always here to entertain the crowd.
Obsession, the one truck remaining in freestyle, coming at you on MOD after this break.
Monsters of Destruction on the Outdoor Channel is brought to you by AmeriGas, America's propane company. Back with more after these words.
Wade Sherman and Kevin Hynes with you from Rapid City, South Dakota. This is the Black Hills Speedway. This is round 11, and here comes Rick Swanson in the Obsession truck. Freestyle. He always puts on a show, Kevin.
You know, Rick Swanson, always a fan favorite out here. That FabTech and AmeriGas Obsession truck has been great all year long. He's held together exceptionally well. And Rick Swanson, you saw right at the beginning of the run there, comes out and beats it up just a little bit. Coming over the roller, he's going to take the cars really hot and fast. A 50-foot long jump there. And Swanson coming right out of the gate with a very strong freestyle here, Wade.
Yeah, we've seen him in other events not really know when the finishing bell is. And with as much real estate as he has here, this truck a real candidate to catch on fire here tonight if he's not careful.
That's right. These trucks can get very hot quickly. Here you see Rick Swanson coming back around after hitting that set of cars. Back in the Obsession truck, seems to be doing very, very well. Normally we see a little bit of steam coming out it by now, but Rick has been dialing this thing in so far every round, and it just keeps getting better and better and better. Keeps hanging on consistently. There he is back over the cars one more time. This FabTech Obsession truck, it seems like now he's become a little bit conservative as opposed to when he first came out here, Wade.
He's going to try for a donut here. There he is. He's got it hooked up, but he pulls out of it early and calls it a night. Just one revolution, but I thought he was going to go into that patented spin of his, but something wasn't right with the truck, and he cut it short.
You know, and that's exactly what happens. Sometimes they get hot after running the entire night. They come out here for freestyle, not able to complete the entire run, but you know, the stipulation is they have up to 2 minutes. They can cut it short any time before that.
Well, we thought we were done, but bursting out onto the arena floor now, this is Craig Christensen. He's in the Spider-Man truck, not his normal truck. What's going on here, Kevin?
You know, interestingly enough, look at that huge launch by Christensen. You know, it's not his truck, so he's going to come out and beat it up a little bit. But Paul Jensen, unfortunately, got a little piece of shrapnel up in his eye, cut his eye wide open. Craig Christensen broke both of his rear rams for the rear steering in the Dragon Slayer on that event that we saw in Obstacle Course. So Christensen moved the seat over, moved the pedals. He said, you know what, Paul, I'm going to take your truck. And look at the fire we got there, Wade.
Yeah, that's not good. He's burning right now. He came out strong and maybe too strong. That truck is cooked. You know, bad eye, broken truck, burned truck. It has been a bad night for KCM, and Mama's going to be mad because they are going to have to shell out some coin to compete in round 12, aren't they?
That they are. They've got a lot to take care of. There you see the EMT staff on site here in Black Hills Speedway, Rapid City, South Dakota, putting out the fire. And let's take one more look at this. Look at that huge launch by Christensen into the arena. You know, we've seen it before over the course of the season. Christensen likes to come out and make an entrance.
So a costly evening for Team KCM. Spider-Man and Dragon Slayer both go down, but we'll be back for round 12 next week right here on the Outdoor Channel. For everyone at the Outdoor Channel, this is Wade Sherman saying good night, everyone.